So I was asked recently to describe how Condition Zebra is different than other risk management companies in the market, and of course there are so many. We look at risk management and critical infrastructure at the least common denominator, which in our mind is what does the policy say on how assets are protected, what does the internal infrastructure say about how the assets are protected, and what are the external risks associated with doing business today. And when you think about it like that, you're talking about three areas very specifically. First, of course, the policy. What are the guidelines that you're following? Are they financial guidelines for like a Sarbanes-Oxley, or healthcare guidelines like HIPAA? Publicly traded companies, of course, having to deal with Sarbanes-Oxley, payment card industry guidelines. Is there a framework involved, like a COBIT framework or an ITIL framework, or is it a homegrown framework? That really gives us an idea of how deep a policy is implemented and mandated in an organization. Also, that's a good starting point for us to come in and help an organization refine their policy and look at what might be missing. The second stage is looking at the internal infrastructure. For example, in your computing environment, what rules do you have set up that define how patches are deployed? How is SSL used, for example, in security? What kind of encryption do you have? What are your updates? This kind of detail, how is your system configured when it comes out of the box, a new device, a server, a firewall, whatever the case may be. That is really where most of the problems happen with respect to the biggest exploits today. People are taking advantage of a problem that already exists in the system. It could be as simple as the way the web has been configured, a cross-site script issue, or an SQL injection, or an Apache web server problem. Maybe somebody didn't follow the right path. Now, that's the second layer. We've got the policy, we've got the internal infrastructure. The third component is the external facing risk. That is to say, when a company is doing business on the market today, how is it being accessed from the outside? Well, it's relying on web applications. Therefore, there are web application security risks associated with that. And we believe, based on the data that we're seeing, and based on the trends that are being reported, that that third layer is really the most sensitive layer and probably one of the easier areas of security to fix in an organization, which is to say, look at your infrastructure, look at what your web applications are, what are the risks associated with those applications, and we have a great partnership with White Hat Security to help identify what some of those things are, actually what all of those are, and what's your internal infrastructure look like, how do they relate to each other, and how are they governed by a policy. And that's really where Condition Zebra focuses its time and attention with respect to its customers.